Hello and welcome to another edition of the SHIB TV live broadcasting. Thank you everybody for coming in and having a great time. Absolutely love it. We are the SHIB Army. We are SHIB TV. I'm Will, your host, and thank you so much for coming in to tonight's broadcasting. Absolutely love it that you're coming in and sharing with us all the latest and greatest in SHIB information. That's currently underway right now. We are at, where are we? We are at scenario burning, roughly around 60 billion SHIB per month, which works out to 180 billion SHIB burn per every 3 months, every quarter, basically. What would that mean for SHIB? That would mean massive burn, massive gains for every single one of you, because of the reductions. Would give you what? What would it give you? It would give you absolute value back on your money, so which is fantastic. We were talking about that earlier this week. We also talked about SHIB TV news that's coming out or that's come out regarding the wallet holders, which has climbed, by the way. So we have more wallet holders. We have bigger burns. We just burned 28 minutes ago 1 million SHIB sent to the dead end wallets. We have also 125 burned 6 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 6 hours ago. So 125, 123, 122, 119, 120, 113, 115, 117, 116, 112. And 9 hours ago, we had 60,462,359 burned in SHIB, which is absolutely fantastic for all those that are paying attention to the burns that have been happening. Wallet addresses that we've been adding, 1,555,085 new wallet holders. That's wallet holders in SHIB. No, they are not people, so please keep that in mind. The 1,555,058 is up from yesterday by about 400 wallets, which is absolutely awesome. Summer B8s. How are you, Summer? I'm doing all right. It's excellent. Make sure that if you're new to the channel, make sure you give a thumbs up. If you like what you see, please give us your subscription. 80% of everything we make from this channel goes towards a reduction of SHIB. That's true. 80%. We love to do that for every single one of you that is in SHIB to prove to you that it's not replenishing its circulating supply. And we can all do that. Every single one of us on the planet can do that, so which is absolutely fantastic. I am. Admir, how are you? You're a YouTube thumbnail designer? Interesting. I didn't think there was such a thing anymore. Because of all the different AI models out there right now in Mirror, it's hard to compete with them. As you can see, the AI model behind me, that's generated by AI. I give it the idea, and it puts it into place for me. All I gotta do is tell it what to do. So, just so you know. Where are we? That was etherscan.io. So those that want to look it up can look it up. You subscribed? Excellent. Thank you so much for subscription. Okay, so crypti.io, there is 2,893,581 on their platform. That's through the decentralized and centralized exchanges. CC Plays, massive love show to CC Plays. Excellent, CC. Thank you so much for subscription. Absolutely love it. So yeah, we have 2,893,581 subscriptions, new wallet holders or wallet holders holding SHIB, and the period of time that they're holding SHIB is actually records. We even beat Bitcoin, if you can believe that or not, on the wallet holders that we have. Leah, massive shout to Leah. And thanks, Leah, for coming and sharing. That's awesome. Fantastic. Love it. So for those that are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Keep coming back as we share the latest and greatest in SHIB. I can give you the fear index right now. I know that everybody's interested in the fear index. Not. It's at 18. Extreme fear. So we were at 11 a couple of days ago. So if you've watched, SHIB is on the move, but so is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 91,000. Ethereum just broke over 3,000. SHIB just hit 86.54. So it's working its way up to 87. It's really, really, really cheap. SHIB should never be this cheap. The only currency in the world that reduces its circulating supply without replenishment. And any of you, any of me, and anybody from around the world can reduce its circulating supply. That way everybody benefits from the reduction. Does that make sense? Because what does that mean? You look at it like a Minty Mantle card, or if you're into hockey, you look at it as a Bobby Hall card. What's that worth today, right? From when it was produced to when it is now, and what happened with the Minty Mantle cards. Kids played with them. They skipped them across the room, threw the cards. Whoever got the closest would collect all the cards. Well, when you collect all the cards, you make a mess, and the cards get damaged. Others put them in a scrapbook, pasted them in a scrapbook. Good idea, right? But if you went to go sell the cards later on and in a scrapbook, you've actually taken the value and basically said, you know what, we're going to do a 75% discount. So if the card was worth 5 cents, most of those scrapbooks got thrown in the garbage because they devalued the card so much by putting them in a scrapbook. So what does that mean for SHIB? Well, right now we have a whole bunch of people who don't understand what that means. Just like the kids did back in the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s. They don't understand that it's going to be incrementally in value at some point. Well, that's what's going on with SHIB. Most of those people that are in SHIB understand cryptocurrency. And crypto goes up, they sell it. It goes down, they accumulate. But they're not accumulating if they sold it. So they're trying to get back in at a lower price. That's the crypto way. SHIB isn't any cryptocurrency. It's like the Mickey Mantle cards. You're trading it based on facts that you think that you're going to be able to get it at a lower price. But the truth of the matter is the price is dependent on the value of what people are buying it at. So if they're able to buy it cheaper and they're holding it on too longer because they know it's a Mickey Mantle card, it's going to be worth a lot of money. But people are continuously selling it at a lower price. But they know this is a bubble. You're playing with fire. The cards that you have, you're throwing them away. You don't understand what you're playing with. And that's exactly what it is. They don't understand what they're playing with. So as long as we have a bunch of kids going around and throwing these cards all over the place, thinking that, oh, I can time the market better than you can. You're playing with something that is a Mickey Mantle card that's going to be worth a lot of money later on, because this is the maximum amount of supply there is at this time, and there's 5.3 billion people. Everybody wants to make money. So at some point they start to catch on. Hey, wait a second. They start to realize the value, like the Mona Lisa, right? Think of it as art. Once they start to catch on to it, there's only so much of that art that's available to you. And what is that art worth, right? It's the same idea. It's property. Once you start looking at it as property, you start looking at a whole different way of looking at it. Because you're like, oh, wait a second, this isn't infinite. No, it's running out of supply. And organizations get paid to reduce the circulating supply. That's why we came up with a $3,000 tax deductible goodwill write-offs in donations, if you wish, and break it down daily into the $8.22 that you can buy SHIB with or accumulate, whichever way you want to look at it. So what does that mean for you and I? Well, that means that if people aren't seeing it for what it is, that's an opportunity for all of us to take advantage of it. Every single one of us on the planet can take advantage of this beautiful currency that's digital, because it can't replenish any of its supply. So once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. It's gone. So if you want to throw it away, if you want to discard it and use it as a regular cryptocurrency and only buy it when it goes low and then sell it when it goes high, that's totally on you. Of course, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not, and crypto is extremely volatile. We do know that SHIB will eventually explode. We just don't know when, and when could we see that explosion take place? And that's what we don't know. And it could happen any day. With all the AI provisions that are out there right now, they can run so many simulations, and not one of those simulations come back with a negative response. So every single one of those is going to make them money. So it's just a matter of time before GM, before Ford, before Volkswagen, before Remax, CR Realtor, Century 21. It's just a matter of time before they catch on to this and say, wait a second, I'm missing out on all this money that I could be making. Exactly, because they're given $3,000 in each country that they do business with. That's why we went with the model for the crypto.com cryptocurrencies, because their model was better than most, because they operate in multiple countries and they get to do $3,000 in each country, broken down into the $8.22 per day. Now, a lot of people are going, well, how do you get to write that off? Well, you think about it, as a corporation, $8.22 isn't even a stapler. It's pens, pencils, erasers, markers. I had to go buy new markers. It cost me $10-12 to go and buy a marker and eraser. So if you think about it that way, wait a second, that $8.22, I can write that off against anything. You write that off against anything. But why would you write that off against SHIB? Because it's going to return massive profits to you. When you run the simulations, you get to see just how much money you're going to accumulate on your very small investment of $56 per week that you're able to write off. And you're buying it and you're reducing it. And with the reductions, you keep the reductions set aside, because then you can use those for your capital losses, corporate capital losses. The money that you make in your cryptocurrency, this goes for everybody, the money that they make on their cryptocurrency goes back into their company. So it's not capital gains. If you're using it for renovations, you're using it for hiring more people. The governments love that, and they give you tax breaks and incentives for it. So they even give you more money. You take that and put it back into SHIB, it gives you even more power. Does it make sense to everybody? You understand where that concept is coming from? The rest of the world haven't caught on to it. That's why I said, like, the cards of the Mickey Mantle, all the kids were playing with it. They thought nothing of it. 10 years, 20 years later, all of a sudden the card's worth from 5 cents to $13, $14. And they're like, well, that's only $13, $14. I had to hold it onto it for 20 years. And then 50 years, all of a sudden the card's worth a couple $100,000. Wow, right? It went from 5 cents to a couple $100,000, but there's only a select few remaining that are in good enough condition that can be sold at those prices. And most of them are from players because they held on to it because, oh, that was my card. Like Mickey Mantle, I'm pretty sure that it was his sons or his granddaughters or grandsons that held onto the card as memorabilia. That's why it's worth so much money, because it comes from them. Hello, how are you? Mulden. Mooblin? Moo. Mao. I'll get it right one of these days. How are you? And thank you so much for coming from your country. That's absolutely fantastic. Uzbekistan. Africa? Is that no? I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Okay. Moonin, thank you so much for coming. If you don't mind, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to. We'll break down Bitcoin's at 91,525.61. Ethereum is at 3,062 right now, and climbing. These are all less than 1% increases, but there's green candles nonetheless. SHIB is at 508661 right now. Let key. You're from okay. Let key. Right. Let key. Hold on to your party hats. Asia, Central Asia. Very nice. Very nice. Republic of Uzbekistan. Hey, Mark Anthony in the house. Going to have a bull run 2026. Paul, how are you? We should have had a bull run already. I don't know why everything went south. Like literally everything tanked. Why? I have no idea. A lot of manipulation going on in the crypto space. October was supposed to start the bull run. I was gearing up for it. I was like, this is going to happen. And it didn't happen. November happened and we had a little bit of a spike up. But majority of what happened in October, basically everybody sold off thinking that the bull run was over. And the bull run hadn't even started. If you want the truth, we've been in a bear market since July. And it's continued just to shrink. Now, are we gearing up for a bull run? That's a good question. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But SHIB doesn't need a bull run. It just needs people to take in what it's capable of doing. Paul, good things. Fed rates, December. Okay, so we got two things going on in the Fed. Okay, Paul, got two things going on in the Fed. One is reduction, and then the other one is the checks, the $2,000 checks that the United States for all the working class get $2,000 given back to them. Yeah, Mark Anthony, thank you so much for letting everybody know. Subscribe, like, and comment on the channel. Want to keep 80% of everything we make on this channel goes towards the reduction of SHIB, which is giving back to the community and SHIB. That's why we cover it, and that's why we constantly talk about SHIB TV Broadcasting Network, is so that everybody understands what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate every single person on the planet in SHIB. We don't want to hold on to your financial advisor or your broker because we can't offer that. We don't know your financial situation. In this span of how long I'm on here for, of course, I can't give you financial advice. We can make a suggestion, but it's our opinion, and it's simple and straightforward. Treat it like a lottery ticket. And SHIB is so cheap, you can. Like literally can. Like for $8.70 right now? That's what it's going to cost you for 1 million SHIB. That's a lottery ticket. Are you going to be rich off of that lottery ticket? Well, if you have 50 million friends, yes, you're going to be rich. If you got 50 million friends and they all want to invest $8.70, yes, it's possible. Would you need more than that? Of course, but it's a good start. And with those many people, they're going to tell 10 friends, and they're going to tell 10 friends. So before you know it, your 50 million is now 500 million, and that will make a difference in adoption for SHIB reduction in circulating supply, because every single one of them that buy it, that's taken off the market. Of course, their price target for SHIB is going to be in that $2 to $3 range on just 1 million SHIB. So take that in consideration when you're looking at SHIB. Now, the corporations haven't started acquiring or accumulating SHIB. They're probably just running the simulations and then going through the board of directors. Unfortunately, Ford, GM, Volkswagen, those companies take 3 to 6 months to make a decision. We're looking for AI. We know AI is running simulations, but we haven't seen any accumulation in SHI to prove the model. Once they start acquiring it or accumulating it, it'll be massive. We'll see massive runs in the amount of accumulation of SHIB, which is going to be fantastic. We haven't seen that. We've seen some sources of it, but we haven't seen it drastically take on its formation. So that's one thing we're looking at that's coming up very, very soon. What else we got here? We did the numbers with Max Rogers a couple of days ago. We ran the numbers, and it ran into 282 billion SHIB being removed every month, just from cryptocurrencies, burning SHIB and holding it. Remember, 60% is going into holdings. So the 282 billion that's being reduced, there's actually almost 400 billion being accumulated and holding. So a lot of people don't realize that the 60-40 split, 60% is being held, 40% is being reduced. So yeah, your 282 billion, yeah, it's almost close to 400 billion every month being held. So you think about that, that's massive, right? So, and then what would that mean? Well, that would mean a 50x to 100x your money return. Okay, but you got to remember that the corporations that bought into it now are going to be looking at getting rid of it, because now they got money on top of money. Now they can start liquidating it. So they can start selling their SHIB to do more hiring, keeping the lights on, investing in bigger storefronts, more cars on the lot, higher, bigger complexes that handle more cars, so they can sell more. Because like every car dealership wants to sell more cars because it gives them leverage on the amount of money that they're able to make. Tomato 39. Oh, I love it. Love it. That's funny. There you go. Mark Anthony, excellent. Keep it simple. Keep it direct. Ask questions about SHIB. It's pretty simple stuff. Be respectful, mindful of others. This channel is for SHIB wallet holders, right? So want to make sure we get that out and clear. There's a lot of news going on, but the news is mostly about the ecosystem. What looks so fake? Seriously? Oh well. Makes me look younger or feel younger. So if that, again, personal appearances, right? Once we burn 60 billion SHIB, we'll see similar recoveries in SHIB, about 5 to 6x return on your money. That's true, because last time they did a 56 billion SHIB burn, led to 5 to 6x your money. Yeah, I'll put them on a 30-minute timeout. Yeah, no, can't have it. Can't have it. No one cares about my hair, except Joey, but he doesn't make a big deal out of it. Yes, that's right, Mark Anthony. A lot of coins are going up. We have a lot of green candles, some more than others. We can get into that too. Um, Biggest thing about the crypto market that we love so much is the volatility. What's one of the which one was it that I was looking at before? Yeah, XMR was up 10%. Right now we have a lot of overturn, right? Because it's the turn of the hour. So not very many of them are up. Just looking at last 24 hours. Some of these are like 3.4% over the last 24 hours. And that's Solana at 143.74. So we're expecting Solana to hit over 210. We're expecting SHIB to get back up to that 13-14 range, 401314, very quickly. Once the scenarios are done, Mark Anthony, if you want to look at those, BTC's back up over 90,000. That's correct. 91,000 actually. 91,000, almost 92,000, Mark. Yeah, 91,851. So it's climbing quickly. Ethereum isn't doing it as fast. It's at 3,052. We're expecting SHIB to fly at any given moment. With SHIB, it's explosive, right? So once it starts moving, it's very explosive. That's why it's very hard to predict where it's going, because if you look at the models, SHIB has this really, really unique curve. It takes it a long time to even out. It goes up, then comes sharply down. Once it levels off a little bit, it slowly deteriorates downward. And it does get a couple bumps here and there, but mostly it comes back down. Now, we're expecting that to go the opposite way, continually going up. You'll see bumps in the road where it goes even come down a little bit, then go back up. Then it's going to do that trend as more and more corporations start taking it on and burning it and buying it at the same time. Yeah, thanks, Mark Anthony. I have to remind everybody, 80% of everything we make on this channel goes towards the reduction of SHIB, which is our word to you, right? We keep our word. Our integrity is everything. We don't like to compete with the ecosystem development team. I don't think anyone can. Just saying. Most of the news that comes out is about SHIB Magazine. We don't support or deny any claims against SHIB Magazine. It's a great thing that they're doing. But it's to promote their own products. So Bone Leash, Shiboshi's, Treat. And Treat was supposed to be to help burns, believe it or not. They were supposed to give you back treats for burning SHIB through their burn portal. The burn portal kind of collapsed because they said they were going to do something and then they didn't do it. And then when they came out with Treat was supposed to do these wonderful things for SHIB's burn portal. And it was designed to vote, believe it or not. But we go, well, wasn't Bone built or roughly around that to vote on certain aspects of the development team? They changed the whole spectrum on it as soon as Shibarium was born. But they did the same thing with the game, right? Everybody know what the game was called? SHIB Eternity. Remember that? It's going to burn so much SHIB. What did they come out and say right after the game was released? Anybody? Everybody was getting excited about the game coming out because it was doing so well in Vietnam. It was doing so well in Korea that they were like so happy to have this game come out. And then they came out and said that First, um, it's going to make X amount of dollars before we do anything with SHIB. Drop right there. Everybody that was in there instantly felt heartbroken because all these things that they promised, all of a sudden they said, no, we're not doing that anymore in SHIB. So that's why people just got upset, saying that whatever you say that you're going to do for SHIB, you've turned around and basically walked away from us and said, I'm sorry about your luck, but it's our product and we're using it to promote our stuff. And they came and said, well, we're going to burn SHIB, but on 0.00001%. What? So, in other words, it has to make $300,000 before we'll see a $300 return on investment. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Same thing happened with Shibarium. Pretty much the exact same scenario, except it was a lot worse. Because at first it was supposed to be the gas fees for Shibarium. Then they promised us for 3 years that this was going to be for SHIB, completely for SHIB. No, we're not doing that. We're doing it all for SHIB because we owe it to the community because they're the ones that support us. And then what did they do? They said, okay, it's going to be based on a percentage, and Bone is going to be the gas fees. So what happened with Bone? Bone's right now at less than a cent. If you remember, Leash was over $1,000, and now it's at 1 cent, 1.8, like cents, like 1 cent, 0.8. Like, holy cow, from over $1,000. Yeah. So, what does that tell you about the ecosystem development team? They don't keep their word. So if you don't keep your word, your integrity is shot. What's the one thing we want to make sure that our integrity stays intact? Because that's exactly what happens when you don't keep your word. When you promise something and you don't keep it, you're going to get punished, especially in stocks, especially in crypto. Because it's so volatile that, yeah. So everybody in the ecosystem development teams kind of walked away from what they were doing before because it's just not panning out the way that they anticipated it. They did sell a lot of land in the metaverse, so do I still use your no. Don't use magic. No, we go with AI platforms to run simulations. So we encourage every single one of you, and I'm asking you, did any of you run any simulations in SHIB? And if so, what kind of simulations did you run? Did you run the 3,000 guaranteed investment strategy for every single company, corporation around the world? And that's $3,000 in donations. Of course, to do $3,000 all at once, bad idea. Okay, because if you break it down into a daily, it's easier to write off. It's extremely easier to write off. If you break it down into weekly, it's still really easy to write that off because you're able to put that $8.22 on a receipt. Easy. And it's time stamped and it's good to go, and you just keep collecting them. And if you really got smart, you would start taking pictures of them and use them. Now, how does it work? Everybody know how it works? Okay, so the $3,000 that you're given a year is goodwill or donations that you can write off 100%. But do you get the money back? Well, corporations work this way. Before you pay to the government any money, you show how much money you have in deductions. So the $3,000 turns into 3,000 credits. Those credits come off what you would pay to the government. Does that make sense, everybody? So yes, it's like giving it back to you, but you're able to spend it and get it back. Zir, Maslov show to Zir. I don't know where Joy's at. He comes and goes. Usually I'm on the channel for about almost an hour before he shows up now. I'm supposed to write him an email. I haven't wrote him an email for a while. Yeah, so the way it works, yeah, that's exactly it, Mark Anthony. It's a write off. It's tax credits towards what you'd be paying into the government. So does that make sense? So is it given back to you? Yes, but you spend it so that you don't have to when you claim it, it takes it right off the top. So the amount that you're paying is everything deducted, and then your profit, you have to pay taxes on your profits. So that comes off the top. So that's one of the things that comes off the top. Now, the timestamp that we were talking about earlier, what's the difference? Well, the timestamp gives you more money to write off, but the 50% that goes towards the reduction of SHIB comes off the top immediately. It's 100% deductible because it's an experimental educational platform that you're using to write it off. So it doesn't come, it's not, it's a different categorization. So you're able to do more, right? You're able to do more with it on the burn side of it. So the reduction, you get to write off more. On the accumulation side, you only get 30 to 40% depending on your country of origin. So in the United States, it's like 23 to 24% that you get to write off of your accumulation of SHIB. Okay? And then it's how they look at it on cryptocurrency, right? On the digital cryptocurrency. But if you put it under education, you get more of a write-off. So in Europe, they get 100% because you're training your staff. So you're worded, I'm training my staff with this money. You get to write the whole thing off up until a certain point. I think it's around $50,000 to $60,000 a year. So that's a lot, considering that if you did it in every single country of origin, if you're a cryptocurrency, that would be a massive, massive undertaking because you're able to write the whole thing off. The moment you go over into Germany, which is in Europe, moment you go into Germany and Greece, that number comes less. So Greece, they don't allow you as much. Turkey is roughly around 30%. The deduction side of it's 100. So everybody, the deductions are 100% write-off. But they're looked upon as corporate losses. Okay, so please keep that in mind. So in other words, if you don't want to pay taxes on your corporate gain, you need to put that money back into your company. So renovations, buying bigger franchises, hiring more people. The moment you do that, you get grants. You take the grant that you got, you hire more people with it, you get more money back. Or you can start doing the exact same thing and start reducing SHIB, gain the money that you lost, 10 times that, 20 times that by that time, put it back into your company, buy more companies. See what I'm saying? So you're able to hire more people, get a bigger grant from the government because they love it when you hire more people because you're helping out their economy, right? Capitalism 101, right? That's why we were talking about the timestamps for the fast food industry because it's capitalism, massive capitalism. Buying something, expanding it, hiring a lot more people. Who doesn't love that in their country? Every single one of them do. And they award those that do it. So something to take into consideration when you're talking about SHIB, because SHIB, you get to do that with every single aspect of it. The $3,000, 100% write-off. But you don't get it back. Well, yes, you do. But you get it back in the form of reducing your profits. So you're reducing, by spending it, you're reducing the profit that you have to pay taxes on. Make sense? Everybody got it? You think BTC will go universal? You betting on it, or are you making a statement based on what? Facts? Fiction? Your feelings? Why do you say BTC is going down? BTC went down. It went down to almost 82,000. Dropped like a stone. Now, if you notice from before, when it dropped to 82 to 79, 78,000, SHIB was at 19. Now SHIB is at 5086. So it's completely flipped into the red. But I think that's because people fear what they don't understand. Because if you look at the fear index, it's at 18, extreme fear. This is a fear and greed index. So basically works like the VIX. So the people who don't know about the VIX, it's the fear and greed index of the stock market in the United States. So if the VIX is high, that means the fear is extremely high. Fear is in the red, like deep in the red. And then when it starts to alleviate, the VIX goes all the way down to roughly 16, 17, which means extreme greed is in the marketplace. So it works the opposite. So if you wanted to wager against it or wager for it, that's how you would do it. It's based on the VIX. For those that don't know, you can buy ETF in it. You can buy different aspects of it if that's what you wanted to do. For SHIB, we don't recommend that you short SHIB ever. It just doesn't make sense. I know that people will probably do it anyway. Like I said, people like playing with stuff that they have no idea what they're playing with. And it's like playing with a Mickey Mantle card, saying that it's not going anywhere. It's never going to go anywhere. It's done. But the truth of the matter is, it's still being reduced. The circulating supply of it's still being reduced. There's only a handful of people that are in SHIB. And if anyone's noticed, the volume has come down on SHIB. Wonder why the volume is low. The price is sticking around, and there's more burns happening. And they're going to continue to climb. The burns are going to continue to climb because they realize, hey, the more we burn, the more we earn. I want everybody to say that when they're in SHIB. The more we burn, the more we earn. So the more people that come in, accumulate, and there's more reductions that are happening because corporations all want to make money too. And if they don't make money off of their business models, they'll make money off of this business model. Does everybody understand that? There you go. Gretzky rookie card for those Canadians. Same thing with a Bobby Hall card because Wayne Gretzky bought a Bobby Hall card with the owner of the LA Kings. They paid $1 million for it. That was 20 years ago. More than 20 years ago, because that was back in 1998. 98, 97, somewhere around there. 97, can you imagine? 1997. They bought a Bobby Hall rookie card worth $1 million at that time. Now it's probably worth roughly around $10, $12 million today. So for those that don't know, and that's why we kept telling everybody about Mickey Mantle, because we know everybody in the United States loves Mickey Mantle. He's an icon, just like the Babe, Ruth, just exactly right. Those are icons, massive ball players. And the United States is massive. That's their sports paraphernalia, is everything to deal with baseball. They can tell you who was playing on second base in 1958 for the New York Yankees, right? The trivia pursuit that they have on the baseball is unbelievable. Not to get sidetracked, but that's exactly what SHIB is. People are playing with it, thinking it's just another cryptocurrency. The truth of the matter is, it's the only cryptocurrency in the entire world where anyone and everyone can reduce the circulating supply. What does that show you? It's just like a Mickey Mantle card or a Bobby Hall or a Gretzky card. It's very limited in supply. A lot of people say, well, 589 trillion is not... No. If you break it down by coordinates, the Europeans, the North Americans, South Americans, remember that the Gretzky rookie cards only felt by the Hockey Association. Baseball, Mickey Mantle, only by baseball fanatics, and especially those in the United States of America. Because people out in Europe, it's about cricket, it's about football, right? They don't care about the stuff that happens in North America as much. So if they had a card and it was worth a lot of money, it would be a soccer player. That would, and their card would be worth a lot of money. It would have the same sort of, because there's only so many produced of their rookie card or status. So once it becomes known and short, where there's not very much left in supply, all of a sudden the price goes up. Does it go up right away? No. Everybody's playing with it. Right now, what do we have? We have a bunch of people playing with SHIB. The notion that, oh, everybody that buys it is a holder, and they should be trading it. They should be playing with it. Treat it like what it is, a toy. Discard it, play with it, goes up, goes down, and sell it, buy it, trade it. Basically, they want you to trade it. Continually trade it. And I keep telling people, you have no idea what you're playing with. Same thing, you don't have any idea what you're playing with. You're playing with something that's reducing its circulating supply. Eventually, every single person on the planet is going to realize this. Corporations are going to like, hey, wait a second, I can get paid to burn it. I'm getting paid to mint more money for my company. So what am I going to start doing? I'm going to start minting it. Right? How are they going to mint it? Reducing the circulating supply, increasing the value that I'm holding on to. I don't care about your supply. I care about my supply. So if you want to treat it like it's a card and a toy, you think it's funny, well, hey, look who's going to have the last laugh. Eventually, it's going to come back around where it's going to start paying me some serious money. That's the truth of it. That's what we're holding on to SHIB for. That's the information I want to give out to the world. I want everybody to understand what they're playing with, because that's what you're playing with. You're actually playing with money that later on you're going to feel sorry for that you sold it off at such a low valuation. But that's the truth of it. It doesn't have very many wall holders right now. We're expecting in the next couple of days. Like last week, I thought for sure after the simulations that I put out there for the simulations, Mark Anthony, I thought for sure we'd have 10 to 15,000, 20,000 new wall holders instantly. That has not materialized. We've gotten roughly around 2,000 new wallet holders over the last little while. It's picking up steam. Yes, it is. Before we were losing, like when people would short SHIB, we were losing approximately 5,000 to 6,000 wallet holders. That hasn't happened now. Have you noticed? We've continually built more wallet holders, which means what? We're also adding more value per wallet holder. The amount of reduction in SHIB circulating supply has picked up, but it hasn't picked up enough to warrant anything yet. An hour ago, we burned 1 million SHIB. 10 hours ago was 60,462,359 SHIBs, right? 7 hours ago, 777,777. We had burns from we had burns of 125, 123, 122, 120, 119, 117, 116, all on Shibarium layer 2 blockchain. And how do we know that? Less than a penny. So it costs a lot of money for you to do that on a different exchange. If you're on the blockchain, layer 2 blockchain, it doesn't cost you, it's less than a penny. Less than a penny. So 125 SHIBs reduced is not a lot. Now, AI could be pulling that too, but it would be like 5 or 6 pages on the same hour, pulling basically the same information. But I would think that they'd be incrementing it. Like it would be 900, 1,600, something like that. And you just continually increment. But it'd be the same wallet. And then disappear. As soon as it's done, it disappears. new wallet address, new wallet address. So you see this massive wall of holders, and then of course with the reductions, the wallets disappear. But because it's happening so fast, no one pay attention to it, and it would mean nothing, right? Everybody would be like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. All of a sudden, you start to see 300,000% increase in burns. Well, where'd all those birds go? You can't see them. Well, no, because they're so small, no one's paying attention. That's the truth of it. So that's the AI that we were talking about earlier on their reduction strategy. So that's what we covered on Friday. Tonight is Wednesday. We cover everything that's talked about, and we look for news and relevant news. That's why this channel is so repetitive. It's because I'm looking for something that's new, not something that somebody said or someone says, oh, and there's an analyst looking at SHIB. I have to tell everybody or warn everybody, if you hear or see somebody saying something about an analyst looking at SHIB, you start laughing to yourself because it's comical. Who is going to look at a stock that's less than a penny and say that there's an analyst looking at it? So basically, it's somebody that has an inkling or heard something through the grapevine based on rumors, not and assumptions, giving out an independent review of where they believe SHIB is going or how much it's going to, and then come up with a scenario based on simple logarithmic notions of where it could go based on their valuations. So they could say the same thing about me, absolutely. But we back everything by facts. Based on the burns, based on the amount of people coming in, taking up SHIB. So accumulating SHIB. So the more people who accumulate are taken away from the rest of you, absolutely. The longer the holders, right? That's also staking it because you're holding it for a better tomorrow is basically how it works. So everybody that gets involved in SHIB takes advantage of it by holding it so that other people have a hard time acquiring it at the same price to drive up the price. And that's the truth of it. That's what we all want. We want to drive up the price. We don't like where SHIB is. None of us do. If it's at lower than what you purchased it at, of course you're not happy, right? When could you see it turn around? Everybody asks the same thing. When could I see SHIB turn around? When people stop selling it. Once they start to realize, hey, this isn't playtime. This is an actual digital currency, reducing its circulating supply, gaining in value with every reduction. That's when things change. When the mindset changes in the investors and they start realizing this is for me that I can take advantage of. That's when things change. Not before then. So corporations will speed things up? Absolutely. AI speed things up? Absolutely. We're still waiting for AI. I said within 3 to 6 months, AI should take over. And there's Joey. Massive love show to Joey. Thanks for coming in, Joey. And that's when we can start seeing things turn around for SHIB? Absolutely. Joey. My man. So Joey's from the other side of the world. He's he's up there in Europe, which is fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful Europe. So many countries so close together. So it's good to see Joey. Thank you so much for the shout out. Norway. That's right, Joey. Norway. Not the Netherlands. Norway's better than Canada. How dare you, Joey? How dare you? Norway has not got the same bunch of people. Won't get into names because we don't want to get into politics. We want to keep everything on the up and up, right, Mark? We don't want to get into politics. Politics is bad in Canada right now. There's a lot of indiscretions. And our PM keeps making promises. He's continually making promises. I think that most people are right. I think we're going to an election, and I think that he's going to create a whole bunch of fear. To try and get back in. Yeah, there you go. Mark Carney. Yeah. We didn't want to talk about him because it's not good news, right? That's right, Mark Anthony. It's a SHIB SHIB sale. No, it's a SHIB SHIB channel. It's not politics. Mark Carney is Mark Carney. If you're in Brookfield, you love Mark Carney. If everybody's invested in Brookfield, you love Mark Carney. And where's Brookfield mostly concentrated in? United States of America. Wonder why Trump likes him so much. Because all of his investments are in the United States. Pretty much everything's in the United States of America. And don't tell him about SHIB, please. Keep politics away from SHIB, please, because that guy loves money. We don't want that guy buying SHIB. I think that Trump is doing a wonderful thing for his country. I absolutely do. If Matt was here, he would agree. Jason Cox would agree. Trump is good for his people. I only wish we had him here in Canada because that's a deal maker, right? Somebody who sticks up for their country. Like, I don't care who you are. If you stick up for your country, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing. So when am I coming to Norway? I haven't got a clue. As soon as SHIB hits $3, $4, as soon as SHIB hits over $2, I'm in Norway tomorrow. And how's my son? My son's good. I kept him up late last night because he's behind in his schoolwork. Went and had a meeting with his doctor. Supposed to go get his pills, but he's already got lots of pills left, so I don't have to get them replenished just yet to help him out with his behavior. But again, it's not curable, right? So please keep that in mind. What he's got is he goes into his own world, so he's isolated a lot. He has a hard time with it. Not going to lie about it. But again, won't get into it because it's not part of SHIB. It's part of my personal life, Joey. I wouldn't call them mood swings. They're violent outbursts. So, like, think about it. If you didn't, you're driving your car, and then you realize you can't drive. That's what he's like. He's doing something, and then all of a sudden it shifts. So it's not a mood swing. It's just frustration. Does that make sense, Joey? You understand that? So he's in a different... He's here, and then he's in a different world. Make sense? So he'll never be able to drive. He'll never be able to handle heavy-duty machinery. Right? I was trying to get him into accounting because accounting is just working with numbers and balancing books. And that's something that all autism kids have no problem with. Following directions. Like, it's insane. It's like the smart, absolutely smart about directional training, which is absolutely fantastic. Ball cap in the house. You understand? Excellent, Ball cap. Thanks so much. Everybody understand SHIB? Anyone run scenarios in SHIB using their AI platforms? What did you determine? What was your results? Mark Anthony, what are your results? Did you do it? Did you run AI simulations? Functioning autism, yes. But they have a systematics the way they do it. Okay, Joey, depends on their spectrum, where they are in the spectrum. My son's not one of those that can do it. Yeah, a lot can, Zier, depending on where they fall in the spectrum. Because if you have severe autism, obviously you're not going to be able to do it. Okay. For the kids that are like constantly on the computer and they go between games to games to games, those kids fall on the spectrum 1, which is the severe. Okay. They can't hardly function. Like use the washroom without assistance, brush their teeth without assistance. They have to have constant assistance. Even to go on the toilet and come off the toilet, you have to clean up after them. You can trust me when I say to you, it's going to be very, very difficult for those people to hold down a regular job. Most of them get jobs because the government gives them assistance. Bring my son to Norway? Excellent, Joey. That sounds like a fantastic idea. I think maybe we'll go on a Norwegian cruise. Hey, Joey? Sound like fun? Get out on a boat and sail around. Finland, Sweden, down through the straits and go past Iceland and down into Spain and Italy. Without sounding like a great idea, eh? Well, no, the whole idea was to get you interactive with SHIB. I wanted to know how many people did simulations using AI. Not really. Yeah, there were some trolls. We had trolls here earlier. SHIB is going to pay for more than my trip. And then, Joey, you can sit down and go over some numbers. Or I can send you off another email. But I don't want to do that just yet because it's a little early. Holy Grail. No, I am not Samuel Jackson. Holy Grail. Fantastic name, by the way. Well, not today unless you had a couple hundred trillion. Then yes. Yeah, we got quite a bit of people here, Zier. Mark Anthony was just on talking about SHIB. I wanted to know if everybody had done their homework and did some AI simulations in SHIB, come up with some interesting numbers. By running so many simulations from a collective, from all of you running an AI simulation in SHIB, does anyone know what I'm asking you? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, so my monetization starts after I have 4,000 hours accumulated. I got the first one done. The 1,000 subscriptions, done. Now I need 4,000 hours of people watching the show. Once that's, then I'm monetized. Anthony, I'm here to see my comments above. Right. I've done. Well, Zier, it takes approximately, within a minute, 2 minutes max to do an AI simulation. It was iconic. Well, I'm working on wiring up my basement. I have holes in the wall behind me. I'm trying to run some wire. I didn't want to show off those holes, so that's why I did this platform of the Shiba Inu dog and the world globe behind me for tonight's broadcast. No. This isn't schoolwork, Zier. Joey. Oh my goodness gracious. You want me to take off the... Hold on a second, Joey. There we go. Got the Christmas tree up. Decorations. You see the pictures on the wall. Yes, there you go. Yeah, so there you go, Joey. Just what the doctor ordered. Finally. Yeah, so you can see the Christmas tree. The stars, and got some decorations going on. Upstairs is getting to look a little bit more like Christmas. Yes, there is, Joey. There is SHIB in Russia. And Russia have been paying attention to SHIB, but on a small scale. On the website, I got about 4 hits from Russia in the last month on the website. It's only November, Will. No Christmas, please. Jeez. Well, you wanted to look at the house, Joey, so you got to look at the house. There you go, Mark Anthony. All your presence is in SHIB, guys. Like, literally, you have no idea the power of SHIB. And I'm hoping very quickly, very soon, you're going to see some of that power come to fruition. That's why I asked you all to do the AI simulation, because I want you to prove to yourselves, not just to me, but prove to yourselves that this is actually fundamentally feasible. And you're being very, very conservative, like extremely conservative. Like, when you think about it, there's only roughly around 5 million people or wallet holders. That's not people, by the way. That's wallet holders throughout the world, the entire world, out of 5.3 billion people. Now, everybody tells you about their cryptocurrency that they want you to look at. None of them, majority of them, don't want you to look at SHIB, Shiba Inu token. Why? Because it's got zero governance. Does anyone understand that? What zero governance means? Like, even the influencers that cover SHIB, you listen to them, they still tell you it's a meme coin. They still tell you it's extreme risky. They still tell you, even though they know it's reducing its circulating supply, it's diminishing its supply constantly. People are getting paid to reduce it. Even an influencer who came up and gave the Amazon links, and they're on my website. Anyone using those links, it doesn't cost you any more money on Amazon, and they promise 1% off their profit goes towards the reduction of SHIB. Every single person on the planet should be taking advantage of that, right? That's $5 billion. Like, think about it. SHIB is at what? 4.9 billion market cap? $5 billion going towards reducing the supply? That's the whole supply redone by one company. What would that do for SHIB? What would it do for you and me? Instant billionaires. Right? Instant billionaires. So why wouldn't we want to share that with the world? That's the power of SHIB. That's only one aspect of it from one company. 10 million companies out there. All of them want to make money. If they knew about SHIB, they would all be taking that $3,000 small investment strategy, putting it to work immediately to see what that aspect of it would do for them. Once they figure out what that's going to do for them, that's why I ask you guys to run your own AI simulations to prove the model. Once you prove it to yourself, then you believe it, you'll have no problem selling it. That's the truth of it. Once you believe it, then you understand it, and then you want to give that information to the rest of the world. Just like me. Help promote SHIB? No, help promote yourselves. Help understand what that means for you. So that every single one of you can what? Be prosperous. Because it's constantly adding value every time someone reduces it or buys it. Gives you value back to you. Which is absolutely fantastic. And everybody should be like, ah. I don't know how much money that's going to be, Joey, for that hockey puck. Because I haven't played hockey since I was 18. And I just learned how to skate backwards really, really fast when I was 19. And I was at a hockey. Yeah, I don't know how much money you're going to be able to get for it, or if you just want it for memorabilia, me to put it in a little case and give it to you. Maybe later on, I don't know, maybe. Zero, kind of. You get why we can't? Yeah, no kidding, right? Zero. No, and that's the whole bottom line. So if you want to run a simulation, please let me know if you want to run simulations. Or if you want me to email it to you, make sure you email me. You can go on the website, check out the website, and then email me on what you want or what you would like to see. And I can give you the information on the AI. Which AIs? Not which AIs, because you pick your own. Each one does a different thing. Each one gives you a different scenario. So do as many as you like. Run 5 or 6 different simulations. Once you get those simulations, you start to realize to yourself, hey, wait a second, this is feasible and it's plausible. So when you start seeing those possibilities coming through to fruition, then you understand, hey, wait a second, this is only a matter of time before people start realizing, putting the blocks together and saying, hey, this is worth the chance, especially if it doesn't cost them anything. Well, thank you so much, Joey. It's a fair-sized house. This is the entertainment room, right? I think I showed everybody before. This is our entertainment room down here. Right here, I got a bit of a desktop setup, computer setup. We're going to give you the breakdown on cryptocurrencies right now. Just give me a second here. Yeah, so 1,555,108 wallet holders on the etherscan.io. Crypti.io. Hold on to your party hats. It's loading. 2,893,580. In the last day, we had 555 new wallet holders on Crypti. Okay, what is cryptocurrency doing right now? We're still at a fear index of 18. We'll just, fear index of 18. Bitcoin's at 91,170. Well, went down again. 91,162. Ethereum, 3,039. XRP for all those XRP fanatics, $2.21. BNB is at $89 and $896.52. It's down. Remember, this was 1,200, and it's down. Solana is 142.91. Tron is at 27.68. Doge is at 1542. XMR is at 395.37. SHIB is at 8604 for, and we'll go into, yeah, I got, oh, it just dropped. We'll do an update here. When it drops fast. 8584. 508584. I'm hoping that we're still this low in a couple of days because I have some money coming in. So I'll be switching it over to SHIB, purchasing it. But that's me, not you. And it's not advice. Like we said before, if you want to buy SHIB, please treat it like a lottery ticket because you can. Easy to DCA in, especially when it drops. You get bigger money for your bang for your buck. If you haven't noticed, with the raffle tickets, you'll notice that too. The lower it goes, the more you're getting with your dollar. So like 76,000 SHIB for one ticket. It goes down 89,000. Like that's a lot of SHIB for one ticket, right? So think about it, right? So you're able to get more SHIB for your tickets, which is another educational tool that's built right in there because it shows you right away, hey, wait a second, I'm getting more SHIB the lower it goes. But as it goes higher, the price goes higher, you get less of it. Does it make sense? Everybody got it? So it's like a learning curve right there for people to understand that. And that, again, that's the whole perspective on the reduction of SHIB so that people are aware of that. The more it reduces, the more value is added because there's less supply. So if you go on to the website, there's a little place in here called is it accumulation price rules available tickets on the website. So when you click on available tickets, it's going to bring you into available tickets. It's going to give you a breakdown. So it's going to show you 5,000, 70,000, 35,000, 103,000, 103,000 SHIB per ticket. Massive, right? But that means the price is extremely low. Like 52, 5052, somewhere around there. 103,000 or 49. I think it's 49. That's pounds, by the way. Okay? So please keep that in mind too. But that gives you 103,000 SHIBs. So one ticket, 5 tickets, yeah, so 103, 1, there's 5 billion SHIB available. So think about that. There's 5 billion tickets available. But if you sold 5 billion tickets, that's the entire supply of SHIB. Okay? And that's one ticket. So 5 billion. So basically everybody buying one ticket. How much is a ticket? Half a pound. 92 cents Canadian per ticket. Right? 92 cents. Less than $1. Right? And how many people in the world can't afford $1? Everybody can afford $1, right? $1, yeah, everybody can afford $1. So if you think about it that way, that's like insane. Insane in the membrane. But that's the amount of tickets that are available. There's no more tickets available. So once half of the supply is gone, what is going to happen to your money? Double, right? Do you see where the whole prospectus comes in? You doubled your money. Next time you do it, and we sell the maximum supply of tickets again, you doubled your money again. So remember the 1 cent trick? If I doubled my 1 penny every single day, how long before I reach $1 million? Anybody? Day 26. I think day 26, you're almost $1 million. And then the 30th day, you are $5 million richer. Think about that for a second. That's what SHIB gives every single one of you to do. Isn't it awesome? So how do you buy a ticket, Michelle? Michael, how do you buy a ticket? So you go to the website, you look up the barcode that's on the ticket, click on the barcode, transfer. How much SHIB do you want to buy? Click on that you want to buy a ticket, so you fill out the information on the website. But that gives you the link to the where to buy a ticket. That's how you buy a ticket. It's that simple. Now, Ballcap said that he had a hard time buying it because it says, "Is this your cryptocurrency?" And I kept telling him you would say, "Yes, this is your cryptocurrency." Right. Because it's your ticket. Now, what does a ticket do? Everybody? Everybody? Nobody? Everybody wins. Nobody loses. Everybody wins. And we're holding the raffle draw on the 30th of this month. So you only have a few days left. But we have to sell over 100,000 tickets to host the event. The reason for that is because we want to make sure that we make enough money so that we can have another raffle. Does that make sense? Everybody got that? To keep it going. We keep it going all the time. But to build on the raffle, you want to keep the money coming in. We're doing this every 24 hours. You're muted. Oh, no. Is that better? Joey, is that better? Yeah, so you go to the bottom of the first page, the home page. So you go back down and it'll say here, Shibi Inu tickets per UK, per pound, per euros. So if, 57 cents, 57 euros, 0.57 euros. I'll get this right one of these days. So Joe, yeah. Good now? Thanks, Ballcap. Happy New Year. The Sir Roman. Roman, how are you doing, Roman? Thanks for coming to the channel. If you haven't already, like and subscribe and comment on the channel, which you already have. Joey, I was wondering if you were accepting my emails. No. I've been busy, Joey. I've been, if you haven't noticed, I've been sick for the last little while. So I was helping my wife when she was sick. I took some time off work. And I wasn't able to gather my thoughts enough to send emails off. But thanks, Joy, that you're still interested in getting emails. I'll see what I can do to send you a couple more. So yeah, it works out to 0.57 euros, Joey, per ticket. Is that fair? Is that a fair price? Dan! Do I look like Dan Aykroyd? You're very busy. Well, yeah, because remember, I'm writing a book. I'm helping my wife. The little holes there in the wall. I've been trying to get a wire to go through so I can get a landline down to my computer so that I don't. If you haven't noticed, sometimes the internet drops down here. I want to make sure that I got a landline so that the internet doesn't drop. I've been doing most of my live streams on my phone because I get way more reviews than if I were to use the desktop, which I still don't understand to this day how the logarithmic works for that. But I can just only guess. SHIB doesn't pay for anything right now, if you haven't noticed, Joey, but eventually it will. Eventually. You got to have a little bit of ingenuity and what's going on. That's why I said everybody run your own simulations, because I want you to basically tell me if it's working for you or if it's not. You need the money now. Everybody needs the money now, Joey. You're joking. Yeah. Everybody needs the money now. It's just the way it is. But that's why we treat it like a lottery ticket, so that it doesn't cost you your last dollar to buy it. Because that was the whole point of it, using it like a raffle ticket. And that's why we ask you to do the simulations in SHIB to prove to yourselves that this will actually work. And then come back onto the channel and say that, yeah, I ran it. I got a couple questions on what did you use for your calculations, because I didn't get the same results. And that's what I was expecting, is people come back and say mine were a lot better than yours. But I'm trying to be conservative. I'm not trying to go all out there and tell everybody, because if they knew exactly the power of SHIB, that would be astronomical, and a lot of people won't believe it. It's the truth of it. It just, you can't compare it to anything, because there's just nothing like it in the world. And there's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there that say that they are this model, but when you look deeper into them, they're lying about certain aspects of it, or they're misleading. Sorry, not lying, misleading certain aspects of what they're trying to do. Like Baby Doge. When you look deep into them, yeah, Baby Doge is all by itself, but it has an ecosystem. That ecosystem burns Baby Doge. But that same ecosystem can mint as many Doge as they eliminate. So is that decentralized, or is it manipulation? So it's completely manipulated. That makes sense to everybody. How's my cat? My cat has her shell off, so she's doing a lot better. She can't go out yet because her tail's still healing. But yeah, she's doing better, way better than what she was doing before. So I took it off a while ago. About 10 days ago, I took it off, and yeah, she's doing way better. So thank you, Joy, for reminding me on people paying attention to what was going on with my cat, because she was constantly bugging me because she can't scratch herself with that cone on her head. So right now, SHIB is sitting around 76,000 SHIB per half a pound, is basically what it is. So, can I do a Zoom meeting? Maybe in the future, Joey. We'll do a Zoom meeting in the future. Well, the whole idea of this broadcast, right? But a Zoom meeting would be a lot beneficial. People would probably take more interaction into it, because then you can come up and say a few things rather than me saying everything and then reading everything that's being said. And then, of course, it's diluted, right? Most people will say something that's silly, so then you don't talk about it. You just ignore them. But yeah, that being said, what else is going on? So that's why I want you guys to go on the website, so that you would see just exactly, that's just one more formula into how the reductions work for SHIB. It's hard not to, Joey. It's extremely hard not to. It's because you want to call them out. Everybody has a voice, and but they have it's their only way of communicating and saying that, hey, here I am. And they're just trying to be funny. But in all retrospect, it isn't funny if it's disrespectful. Well, I don't look at it that way. Because, Joey, this is the truth. People come on and they say something, they're talking about themselves. They got nobody else to refer themselves to. So anyone comes on and says something, they're talking about who they are, right? Does that make sense to everybody? Get that? If somebody comes on and says something mean or derogatory towards you, it's not about you, it's about them. And you don't want to shut them down completely, but you want to remind them, listen, this is a safe zone. Please don't say that here. And if they don't change it, you give them a timeout. And if they still don't change it, you take them out. Right? A troll is a troll, but the thing is that you can be smart about it and not say too much into it. Right? They're just trying to get their name out there to the rest of the world, saying that this guy is not focusing on what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, people said that about Mickey Mantle, right? The kids said that about Mickey Mantle. The kids said that about Babe Ruth. How many Gretzky fanatics are there in the world, right? How many people love Gretzky? And then how many of them treated Gretzky's baseball card or his hockey card with respect and didn't throw it around, didn't put it on their spokes of their bikes, didn't, that's the whole thing, right? Only a select few didn't. And then those cards become extremely valuable. That's the whole point. So they can call it whatever they like. The truth of the matter is you're dealing with something that has value that's added to it. Now, it started off as a joke. Absolutely. SHIB started off as a joke. It was a dog chasing a squirrel up a tree. Right? It was extremely funny. Because the dog tripped a few times and it was a Shiba Inu dog and it got its name from the meme. It was funny. Everybody loved it. It was great. It went viral. Everybody jumped into it. And then they found out from later on, Vitalik Buterin burned half the supply. Did it do anything for the stock for SHIB? No. In fact, it made it worse because it went through the roof. And then people took it seriously then when it went up. And then it went right back down. But it didn't go back down to where it was before. It stopped because why? The supply was being reduced. All of a sudden, people started waking up to it. Can I send you the video? Sure, yeah. It's on the internet. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. But if you want, I can send you the email of the... yeah. Yeah, it was back in... when was that? 2000... No, before 2000. 6 or 7 months before 2019 is when the video went out. Yeah, it went viral. And then, of course, SHIB was born right after that. And then they used the video on it. That's why it went viral. And a lot of people sold it. They don't like to talk about it because you got 10 zeros and you sold it. Yeah, but it was going down. I lost 40%, 50%. I'm like, it's 10 zeros. Yeah, if it went down another zero, there's half your supply. Right? Your $500 went to 250, just like that, in a heartbeat. And so people sold it. Now those people, you can't find them. No one's talking about it anymore like that because they could literally cry. GTG. Yeah, good night, Michael. We're going to call it night too. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, John 3:16. We always talk about this for those that don't know Jesus or who want salvation but don't know where it's coming from. It comes from Jesus Christ because Jesus Christ died for us and our sins so that we could, be one with God through Jesus Christ. So we give everything to Jesus Christ because Jesus gave everything for us. That's love, eternally. Yeah, I can. Hold on a second. There you go. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for all those that are coming in and taking advantage. God bless each and every one of you. And hallelujah to Jesus Christ, our only God, our only Savior that we have. He, King of Kings is our Lord Jesus Christ. So no matter what happens in SHIB, whatever is going on in your life, yeah, see you, Joey. Have a great morning and fantastic day for yourself, Joey. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing. Absolutely love it. One of the few friends that I have out there that comes on and is truly genuine, which is absolutely fantastic. And thank you. And God bless you and take care of you. Okay? And thanks, Ball Cap. God bless you and take care of you. And have a great, wonderful evening, the rest of your evening or night. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are in the world. Jesus loves each and every one of you. I wish you all the very best. Live long and prosper, every single one of you. Thank you and so much for coming in. And don't forget to run those AI simulations so that we can come back and have a great time talking about it, which would be fantastic, right? That's what we want to see, is we want to make sure that that model is getting proven to you so that then you can understand exactly where SHIB is coming from. Now, my perspective on it is to be conservative, because if I overshoot it, people are going to be like, no, there's no way that's going to happen. But if you watch Bitcoin and going, it's gone from 5 cents to $125,000, everybody would say that you're mad and wouldn't follow you anymore. So good night, everybody. God bless you. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Until the next time. I'm going to rock yous out. Where is my rock and roll?